Good morning, everybody. It's Kula Dula from RawStocks. We have another edition of our pre-market prep, and today we're seeing a breakout distribution pattern across the market. Is this going to hold? Is this going to fail? We're going to cover it all. You guys stick with us. All right. So yesterday we saw the breakout. You guys know I love my daily four, the um, yellow moving average here. We're seeing a breakout over the top of the 6,700 level. Is this going to get continuation? Will we get hung up here? What exactly are we looking at? We're going to cover that right now. So, shout out to our sponsors, Black Box Stocks and GammaEdge. Without those guys, we would not be able to provide this data to you every single day. So, big shout out to those guys. Let's take a look at the dealer data this morning. So full complex here, you can see that 6750 remains as the target to the upside here, followed by in 6800, and then potentially all the way up to 6,900 and 7,000 starting to get lit up over here like a Christmas tree. 231,000 open interest on the calls here at 7,000. When they expire, I mean, it is relevant, but it isn't relevant for right now. Let's put it that way. I'm sure they're deep out, but 6,700 right now, kind of a transitional area between 6,700 and 6,690 for the bull run here. This thing looks like it wants to target 6,750, which was a target yesterday that when we put it up on the screen, people probably thought it was clickbait, and we went storming towards it. Today, we could see that 6765 is on our charts. So is 6775. We're realistically trying to look for this 6750. Okay, full complex here. That's the one that stands out. That's the one we're looking for. I did put 6765 on there. It's probably not going to hit. Okay, watch that 6750 range as your potential upside. Okay, this is what we're looking at here. Okay, so virtually we're looking at the positioning here for 67.65 on the day. However, like we said, it probably leans more towards that 67.50 zone, right in this zone right here, to act as resistance. Okay, because of the full complex. Yes, this matters. This matters more. Full complex is the superior in regards to data. Okay, so 6750 definitely something you need to monitor, but the positive gex here is at 6765. So this is virtually a buy the dip moment into 6700 and trying to see if we get that press up towards that 6751 zone. I imagine that if you're trying to play this type of dip down here, right, and move it up here, a lot of times this can burn you. I talked about this, the last few days, that the data was like, hey, this is potentially chop zone. This is more of a distribution, okay? But you might find ourselves, I think we're going to open up kind of near this 6724 zone. I haven't looked. And we'll just see this thing kind of chopping, moving up, or we'll see a big move up and then maybe a move down, and then we'll create some type of range for the day. Those are my two thoughts on today. I do not think we'll open and sell down towards 6,700. I think this will be more so one of the two that I just posted. But you're sure you can buy the dip into 6,700. Your cutoff is below 6,680. Realistically, when we have these types of moves, they move kind of quick in a hurry in distribution, right? If this is going to make the start of our next daily breakout where we see this thing start to climb, probably up towards 6,800. Okay, so that's where we're looking at. We potentially could see this thing extend all the way to 6,900. If we do, a Fibonacci retrace or extension here. It puts you right virtually at 68.29 and just a singular standard deviation here. So look at that 62.89 area to potentially be a hiccup. But right now, hey, and go figure, look where we're at, 67.65. And look how that aligns with our positive gamma here, right? Fibonacci retracement, math's miracle. But that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at this kind of setup, how it is, and we're going to see if this thing wants to try to push up towards this range here, okay? Buy the dip. There's nothing special here. Everything looks bullish for now, all right? NVDA. So we saw a little bit of a data change here, okay? We talked about it for about a month or so. We were looking for the extension. It kind of was playing games with us, and ultimately what we got is we got our visit to 190. And I told you that the 200 extension could come. I do not see us pushing past this range as of right now. We will need to see some relative type of earnings before we justify this price. Earnings comes up in November, close to Thanksgiving here for this. I do not believe that we'll go and test 5 trillion, which is where we're rapidly approaching, honestly. I don't know where it's at, but I gotta imagine it's in that 195 zone. If we do, we won't hold it, in my opinion. I think we'll return back towards this consolidation range for the market cap, right? So that's just kind of my opinion on that. Let's see. I could do this probably pretty quick. Let's see. So I don't know. I've never used this. So we're at 4 trillion, I guess, here. Is that what that is? It doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right. Anyways, we are watching the zone. I know we're in 4 trillion right here. So we're seeing this thing push up. I know that this is going to be in that range of that 5 trillion. Just got to look at it again. Maybe I'll tweet it or something like that, but this does look good for a potential breakout distribution on the daily. You can see wicking off the daily 4. If you guys don't believe me that the daily 4 is where it's at, then I don't know what to tell you. But daily 4, are we getting the breakout from this consolidation here, where we're starting to get that press up? I personally do not believe this. Okay, I do not believe that this company should be in that 5 trillion mark. I think that's a little crazy. But you know, people are still buying it. But there's a lot of data coming out now where people talk about this is not. A lot of companies dumping money and not making any money. Okay, this is kind of like .com era. Just saying. So, anyways, I got a tangent there. You guys got to line me up. All right, so 190. 190 is the upside here. This is full green, full go on Tesla. If I had to guess, we're probably going to get roped into this 190 to 185 zone. Okay, so there's going to be this continued type of play here. We'll see a big move, and then we'll chop and chop and chop and chop and chop. And we're already seeing that move. So today's move might be a put at 190, but surely you don't want to short NVIDIA during a breakout, but at the same time, that's the way we operate, right? 190 short here, watching for the rejection. You can look for it to come down towards this 187.5 to the previous day high here at 188 and a quarter and 15. So that's that. Tesla, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've done this twice now, where I locked this up yesterday, and it's the reason why we locked up. We had 470 calls. And we locked this up for a push into that 460 area yesterday. It was a nice move. It was quick. And then I evaluated it. And I said 470 was the gamma wall. if we open at 470, the contract is worth $8. I think it was like, if it opens right here at 470, I think it was worth 840. But we closed it right up here, right? And we made like 640, 650 or something like that. But if we came back and say we retested this today, that contract at 450 would have been worth, I think it was less than $1. It would have been, if we stayed at 460 today, we would have been at 3 something. So sometimes it's worth going ahead and taking the profit when you know the risk is there. Sure, you know, we knew this could balloon, but was it worth it making $200 extra when we already made a couple $100 on it? I don't know. That's just one of those deals. But 471 right now, I would not short this at all. This thing has a green light to 500. There's just no chance. There's literally no chance that I'm interested in shorting this thing when you have a magnet like 500 here. Even on the weekly, we can see that 470 is a wall. No chance to me. I think this thing likely runs to all-time highs probably by the end of the week. All-time highs at 488. Wouldn't surprise me to see us hit that today. Okay. Now, all that being said, the gamma wall is at 470. Okay. But Tesla is notorious for breaking through these and squeezing. We had overhead pressure. I don't know if that's there anymore. Let's take a look. It's gone. So this is no longer there. And I guess I deleted the other overhead, which was virtually what we ran into right here at 462.29. It was right there. So short, gone on both sides. We're seeing just a tremendous amount of support and positive at Delta. We're highly into this zone. It really looks like someone's really shorting us down into that 462.5 area. That might be some type of put credit spread. You'd have to really dive into the flow there. I'm not super interested in, following that there. I'm just not. I think that person's going to get burnt. They're already burnt, and we'll see what happens. So 470 is the wall. There's no great play here. There's no great play. You can't buy a 500 call. They're going to be amped and juiced. You could, but it's really just a gamble. There's no proper setup here. Let's just put it that way. There's zero proper setup. It's all exposed up here. So when we talk about trading with an edge, you have no edge here. You could try to buy 500 calls for next week, but you would be anticipating a potential rebuy into, say, that 445 area. Okay. I just not, when we're extended like this, you can't buy. You miss the move. You could try, but just know that you're at high risk. That's it. So keep the position small. And of course, not financial advice. All right, so that's going to cover it on these tickers. I'm going to try to start covering. I've been doing a lot of different things here lately as far as for our server and coding and stuff like that. So today is coming out a little bit late because I was working on a project, but we will have some new news coming out shortly. So stick by, keep your notifications on. Make sure you guys share and like this. If you guys are interested in seeing our trades, come visit us at RawStocksLLC.com. That is RawStocksLLC.com. We also have links in the bio for you to get access to our data, and we have a $7 7-day trial. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Until tomorrow. Catch you later.